Welcome to the Sovereign CEO Podcast. I am Caleb Jones. We talk about making location-dependent income through our own location-dependent businesses, moving to a less bad country, or at least setting up an international backup plan, and doing all these things for very little money. One of the transitions I am making in my life right now is something that many of you will be very interested in, and something that you will want to emulate, either right now in your business, or maybe in a year or two or three down the road in your business. But this is something to plan on to avoid the mistake that I made. And that is the difference between a business owner and a CEO. Aren't those the same thing? No, they are not the same thing. They are radically different. A business owner is a guy who owns a small business. And when I mean small business, it could be $1 million a year, $2 million, maybe. Okay, it could be that much, depending on the margin of what it is you're selling. But a business owner is a guy who owns a business, and that's it. And a business owner can make a lot of money. A business owner can make $100,000 a year, $300,000 a year, $500,000 a year. A business owner can do pretty well. A CEO is someone who runs an actual organization at scale, a scaled organization. So they are radically different, and I will give you some differences in a minute. For example, the business owner will do anything necessary in the business. He can work with customers, he can do customer service, he can do marketing, he'll do sales, he'll do YouTube videos, he'll work on the blog, he'll fix computer problems, he'll jump around, do everything that's needed. If someone quits suddenly, he'll step right in and fix that problem and do it himself because he's the business owner. He'll work with the accountants, he'll do all this stuff. CEO would never do any of that stuff. A CEO is too busy scaling the company. A CEO is never going to get in there and do customer service. He's not going to do that. A CEO is not going to get on the phone and do sales calls. A real CEO. With rare exception. Actually, no, they won't do it, right? Can you see Steve Jobs getting into, someone in his customer service department of his companies quits, so he gets on the phone and puts on the headset and does, no, he would never do that. He's a CEO. Now, that doesn't mean in order to be a CEO, you have to run a gigantic multi-billion-dollar company. There are guys who are right above my level who are CEOs. There are a few people at my level who are CEOs. I'm making the conversion from business owner to CEO. And it's a conversion I should have made, maybe, I would say, at least a year and a half ago, if not 2 years ago, I should have made this conversion because I was ready. My business was ready. I didn't know that, so I was stuck in business owner mode. And so what's interesting is I took an assessment a few months ago. It's an online assessment. I can't give you the link because it's behind a paywall. It's private. But I did an assessment where it's a test you take. And it's a business owner test and a CEO test. And it rates you on a scale from 1 to 100 on how well you've done this test, okay? So I did the business owner test, and I scored, I think, a 94 or 95 out of 100. Yeah, it makes sense. Business is in my blood. I've been a business owner for 25 years. I teach this stuff. I'm pretty good at this. I'm very good at this. I'm very good at being a business owner. Business is what I'm good at, okay? So I'm like, yeah, cool, awesome. So then I did the CEO test. How good of a CEO are you? Not a business owner, a CEO. And I got a 68. Oops. And I could tell during the questions I don't do that. Oops, I don't ever fucking do that. I'm like, I don't even know how to do that. Now, some of the questions, I had 60. I didn't get a 0. I got 68. I got a lot of them right. A lot of them I got wrong. I went, oh shit. I have some improving to do if I want to be a CEO and have a company at scale. The big money. And there's a lot of you in my audience who want the big money. We talk about $85,000 a year, US pre-tax net as the minimum requirement for Sovereign CEO and Alpha Male 2.0. And if that's all you want, great. You don't ever need to be a CEO. This topic really doesn't apply to you unless you're curious. Okay, this is not something you're interested in. You don't need to worry about this stuff. And frankly, I will tell you from experience, being a business owner is easier than being a CEO. Being a CEO is complex. A lot of moving parts that you have to deal with when you're a business owner. Business owner is much more simple. Much more simple. I suppose if you'd ask me 5 years from now, after I made the conversion and I've been a CEO for 5 years, I might say it's easier, but making that transition is a little difficult. So you can make $100,000 a year, you can make multi-six figures a year as a business owner, and that's perfectly fine. You might even be able to do $1 million a year as a business owner. You'll be working pretty hard, but you can do it, okay? CEO is the big money, okay? So those of you interested in this, this is the transition that you either have to make now if your business is large enough. If your business is not large, now if your business make 40,000 a year, you're not a CEO, you're not near a CEO, but this is something to think about going forward as to when you want to make this transition and when this transition makes sense based on your financial goals, or if it ever makes any sense. Okay? So let's see. I'm trying to give you some specific examples of CEO versus a business owner. So here, I'll give you some really quick, easy ones. These aren't easy. These are esoteric, but this is an example. Let's say your company has $1 million line of credit, okay, for the bank. Now, if you're a business owner, most business owners are not going to have a line of credit that large. Okay, maybe you have a business. Maybe if you're a business owner, you've got a line of credit that's $100,000. Whatever you consider to be a lot of money in your business, in your financial life, okay? But whatever that number is. When you sit down and do your financial planning with your financial team, if you're a business owner, you're going to consider money pulled out of that line of credit as debt. If you're a CEO, you're not going to consider it as debt. You're going to consider that as cash. Now, if you're a business owner, that's confusing, because it was confusing to me, because I've been a business owner for 25 years. So this is wired into my head. If I have a line of credit, that's debt, and debt is bad, unless it's a very carefully used for a very specific purpose that makes money, okay? Dave Ramsey shit. Not quite to that extreme, you get my point. So if I pull money out of a line of credit and spend it, that creates a debt. Now I got to pay a monthly fee on that. If you're a CEO, you don't view it as debt. You view it as cash. That is available cash to run your company. And if you're a business owner, you'd say, well, wait a minute. And this is what I said when I first did the conversation. Wait a minute, but it's not cash. It's not cash in my bank. It's a credit line. I got to pull the money out of the credit line. And my CFO was like, yeah, but it's cash. Well, no, because then I have a debt that I have to owe now. I have a monthly payment. And so the answer is yes, there's a monthly payment that you incur over on another spreadsheet. And that is a separate set of decisions. You do factor that, but it's a separate set of decisions as to whether or not it's cash or not. It's just cash. And so when you've been a business owner like me for 25 fucking years, you have to reorient your brain to think, no, wait, that's not debt. That's actually cash. There's no difference between the credit line cash and cash in your checking account. It's the same damn thing in terms of considering it cash. Now, what is considered debt? Debt would be like a business loan. You get an infusion of money one time, you get, whatever you get. You get $250,000 business loan, it's $250,000, and now you have a loan payable, you have a payment every month, or worst case week or something like that. That is debt. It's not cash. It becomes cash quickly, then it's gone, right? So that's an example of these little tiny differences in terms of how you think. I was talking to one of my advisors, and here's another example. This is another financial example. We now have, for the first time in the history of my companies, my business life, we now have very detailed, hyper accurate, to the dollar cash flow projections going out the next 4 or 5 months, which I've never done in my entire life. What I normally do is I say, okay, next month I need this, so let's do this month to make that for next month, and maybe I'll think. And I have quarterly objectives and annual goals, but those aren't cash flow plans. That's very different. That's just, I want to make this. So we have this now, and it's great. Love it. It's solved a lot of problems. It's wonderful. So a CEO needs to have a cash flow projection out for 12 months. And my advisors who work with CEOs, who themselves are CEOs, that's just normal. You don't look at the next 3 or 4 or 5 months, you look at 12 months. And when I was talking to some of them, I'm like, wait a second, 12 months? How the hell am I gonna know? Because I was thinking like a business owner, how the fuck am I supposed to know exactly how much money I'm gonna make and what my precise expenses will be a year from now in fucking August of 2024? And the advisor I was speaking to said to me, he answered, and he didn't say it this way, I am Calebizing his answer. These are not the words he used, but this is his answer. He said, Caleb, the fact that you're asking that question, the fact that you have no idea what you'll be earning or spending in terms of precise revenue figures and precise expense figures and free cash flow or not, in a month that is literally a year from now, tells me that you're not a CEO yet. I went, ooh, shit. Fuck, he's right. A CEO says no to a lot more things than a business owner. A business owner will say yes to anything he needs because it needs to be done. The work has got to be done. Now, I'm very good at this. I'm very good at not doing the work that I shouldn't be doing. But historically, I will step in when needed because I'm a business owner. CEO is too busy working on macro projects, scaling the company, representing the company, and things like that to work on the stuff at the bottom. That loses too much money for the company. That is bad for the company. If Elon Musk went down to the Tesla assembly line and grabbed a wrench, started working on a car, he was mad at some technician, that would be bad for Tesla. That'd be a bad idea. Whether or not he does that, it'd be a bad idea. It would not be good for the company. So the CEO knows he's hurting the company when he does these things. The business owner, hey, it's got to get done. Let's get it done. We got bills to pay. I want to make money this year. Let's go. Slightly different. Actually, not slightly different. It's very different. And so the challenge I'm running into now is, and this is a fun part of the challenge, is that I have been thinking like a business owner for 25, 26, 27 years. And so now I am reorienting my brain, which is hard work, to think like a CEO instead of a business owner. And if big money is your objective, you have to start thinking like a CEO sooner than you think you will need to do so. That's the big takeaway from this podcast. Or this is a podcast? Yes, this is a podcast. I mix up between podcasts and videos. This is a podcast. You're listening to this on podcast or watch this YouTube. Whenever you think you'll have to make this conversion, you'll have to make it sooner. And it's better to start thinking like a CEO going forward than doing this now and having to convert like me. I want you, those of you who want the big money, and that's only a percentage of you, but those who want the big money, I want you to start thinking about when you need to start thinking and acting like a CEO. And sooner the better. Although again, let me qualify this. If you just started your company, please don't be a CEO. You need to be a business owner. Think of it as a phase. There's a business owner phase and a CEO phase. You cannot start off the bat as a CEO. Unless you have, you already have $100 million or $20 million and you're just investing immediately and you're building a giant company instantly, that's maybe a little different. You're probably not doing that, okay? If you're just a typical dude starting in the location of business on the side, you're not a CEO, don't worry about this. If you have a business right now and you're making $2,000 or $3,000 a month, or even $5,000 or $6,000 or even $10,000 a month, you're not a CEO yet. You don't want to be a CEO yet. But you need to start thinking about it, especially you guys making $10,000 a month. There's a bunch of you. You're making, $8,000, $7,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month. It's time to start thinking about making this conversion in your company and in your mindset from a business owner to a CEO. Caleb, how exactly do I do that? I don't want to go into detail about that because that is only a fraction of the audience. If a lot of you in the comments or emails or suggestions say, oh my God, please talk way more about this, I want to be a CEO, and I get a lot of you, not 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of you, not 5 or 10% of you, but a lot of you, I will do further podcasts on this topic because I'm going through this right now. I can give you very specific suggestions, book suggestions. I'm going through this process right the fuck now. I mean, God, I should probably make a course on this, but I'll be nice and just give this to you for free on podcast if enough of you ask for this information. If a lot of you don't, then you've told me, because I think most of you don't give a shit about this. I think most of you want to make a little money, $85,000, $100,000, and then be good and be location dependent and just live your life. That's fine. Those hardcore assholes like me, you maniacs like me, let me know. And if I get a lot of you, I will certainly continue more on this topic. But this is another aspect of how you can benefit for the transitions I'm going through now. And I'd say, I'm probably 78, 79, 80% into this transition. I'm not quite there yet. I'm almost there. And so my goal is by next summer, probably sooner than that, but by next summer, I'm going to retake that CEO test. And I want to score at least a 95 on that motherfucker by next summer. Because there are systems in place you have to have in your business before you can answer those questions correctly. It's not just, do you do this? It's that, does your business have a system for this? Does your business have a system for that? Does your business have a team for this? Person for that? Blah, 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 blah. So it takes some time. So I'm giving myself next summer. Maybe I'll hit it before that. If you want more on this topic, let me know. Or if you want more on just making the big money, maybe not CFO stuff or CEO stuff, but making the big money, let me know. I can certainly talk about that too. Cool? Cool. All right. Have fun. Do you want to get residency in another country and don't know how to get started and want us to do it for you? Or do you just want to hang out with us and me and the rest of the gang on various events we have planned all over the world? We have 5 events that are open for enrollment right now. We have Get Residency in Paraguay. We'll get you your residency in Paraguay. We have Get Residency and a corporation in Dubai, which is the United Arab Emirates. We have Get Residency in Mexico. We also have Get Residency in Armenia. We also have a Dubai Super Conference, which is the first week of November. Last several days, pretty inexpensive. You can just hang out with us. We have a bunch of events planned in Dubai. It'll be great. If you have any interest in any of these events, the deadlines for these events are approaching the end of October for most of them, or for many of them. So there's a deadline for you to sign up for these. So if you have any interest on any of these events or getting residency or just hang out with us, you want to go to calebjones.com/events. And that lists all the events, links to all the events, all the pertinent information, the deadlines, all that good stuff. calebjones.com/events. The deadline is approaching for some of these events the end of October, and then you can't sign up. So if you have any interest in getting residency or hanging out with us, calebjones.com/events.